and a very warm welcome. You're watching News 9 and we bring to you another edition of the AI Report. A lot has gone down this week in the world of artificial intelligence. We'll tell you first with all the latest headlines that we are tracking for you from the world of artificial intelligence. But later on the show, we'll tell you how Anthropic is becoming not just a disruptor, but also somebody who's accusing China of stealing its data at a time when it's also up in arms against the US Pentagon. And later on the show, we'll also be bringing to you a perspective on how agents could go ahead and make those payments for you without you even having to put in a PIN code or punch in your card details. All that later on the show. But first up, a quick look at what transpired this week in the world of artificial intelligence. Well, over the last few weeks, a slew of tech stocks have gone down amid mounting concerns that AI agents would eventually displace traditional software models. Now, Nvidia's Jensen Huang, however, believes that the markets got it wrong, describing Agentic AI as tool users of existing software rather than a threat to it. Jensen Huang's thesis that the market has misjudged AI's effect on software resets on three central behavioral and economic points. First up, AI agents are tool users and not tool replacers. Second, software is the backbone of enterprise operations that AI cannot displace. And finally, AI's growth will likely enhance software utility but not diminish it. Now, the frames software firms not as endangered but AI, but as a core infrastructure beneficiaries of artificial intelligence era. And moving on now, at the AI Impacct Summit 2026 that concluded the last week, it gave the platform to a host of Indian AI startups that shone. Now, here are some of the startups that were granted funds from the India AI mission at the summit. The most prominent of them being Bharat Gen, a multilingual generative model AI setup that was able to gain funding to the tune of, well, guess what, over 1,000 crore of rupees from the Indian AI mission. Here's a list of some of the other top funding gainers from the India AI mission. And finally, we now look at some of the top stories from the world of artificial intelligence that made headlines around the world this week.
From fears of AI-fueled unemployment to big tech's record investment, this is AI Weekly. Fears of AI-fueled mass unemployment have unsettled global markets. That's after a now viral report on the disruptive potential of AI envisions 2028 unemployment rising to 10.2%. It said as AI continues to rapidly turf out software and delivery applications, it could prompt many layoffs. The markets have bet huge on the technology, and investors have now dumped the shares of software companies and those in sectors vulnerable to automation. AMD said Tuesday it's agreed to sell up to $60 billion of AI chips to Meta over 5 years. It's a deal that'll allow the Facebook owner to purchase as much as 10% of the chip firm. It's AMD's second mega chip supply deal, having signed a similar pact with OpenAI last year. The move was considered a vote of confidence in AMD's chips and software, significantly boosting its stock price. After the latest deal announcement, shares rose around 9% in pre-market trading. 3 Chinese AI companies used chatbot Claude to improve their own models, its creator Anthropic said. It accused DeepSeek, Moonshot and Minimax of creating more than 16 million interactions with Claude using roughly 24,000 fake accounts. Anthropic called the process distillation, which involves training a less capable model on the outputs of a stronger one. Anthropic warned that illicitly distilled models lacked necessary safeguards and created national security risks. The Trump administration plans to use a Pentagon-created AI program to help set reference prices for critical minerals. That's according to 3 sources who spoke to Reuters. They said Washington will focus the AI pricing model on at least 4 critical minerals, as it aims to build a global metals trading zone. That's even as the AI technology has faced skepticism over whether it can retool how critical minerals are bought and sold. US tech giants are expected to collectively invest $650 billion in AI in 2026. Bridgewater analysts said Alphabet, Amazon, Meta and Microsoft will scale up AI-related infrastructure, with investments marking a sharp increase from last year's $410 billion. Analysts said the AI boom has entered a, quote, more dangerous phase. That's as it's marked by exponentially rising investments in physical infrastructure and growing reliance on outside capital.